Welcome back, everyone. Today it's a pretty fun one because we get to talk about value. So, another week, another round of Blizzard stories where they have managed to anger fans with some lovely purchasing opportunities. In the land of Diablo, we have some Portal cosmetics that are absolutely making eyes water, and not as a result of their garish colors. Hearthstone is going into new waters with guaranteed pre-order cards that, well, to some are overtly pay to win. And over in Overwatch, a little bit of a bungling has happened with the Season 9 launch. It's all kind of fun stuff to get into, to be honest, especially in the context of, well, there are some microtransactions in stories like today's that are more expensive than, say, a whole game, like the raft of $40 targeted big successes we've had in the likes of Helldivers 2, Palworld, and, of course, Enshrouded. Overall, a pretty interesting situation. Now, I do not have a sponsor today, but I do want to say that hitting the subscribe button gives the YouTube algorithm a happy signal. Things have actually went pretty good this month on that front, and that means that it spreads our content to more people. The same goes for the like button. Basically, those do make a bit of a dent, and it's one of the best, well, the best zero-cost way for you to support the show. It takes 3 seconds, maybe 5 seconds. Of course, my end of that bargain is to bring my A game, to do everything that I can to support the team behind this channel so that we can get great content out for you. So, I'd appreciate that. And with that said, okay, we gotta talk about some stupid portals. And it's one of those things where looking at a story like this, I'd almost say to myself, why bother? It's just a thing in a game. But you sort of just realize how disconnected from reality it feels. So, right, how much do you think that some portals should be? So, Blizzard thinks, a fairly good amount. Number one, there's, Battle Pass portal reward in Season 3 of Diablo. And hey, looks kinda good, it's decked out with runes, and it's very in keeping with Diablo. That being said, there are other portal skins. Let's take a look at those. Now, these are, I think you can see, rather garish. Of course, this is somebody taking a picture on their phone and posting it to Reddit, so you are not getting great colors or anything like that here, but you can see it is just 5 big old honkin' portals for $29.99. Yeah. $30 That's how much that costs. So Redditor Mwatki20 found this bundle. It's rather ironically called the Dark Pathways. It's pretty damn bright if you ask me. And the deal here is $30 US, but you'll also get 1,000 platinum. That's about $10 worth of platinum. So I suppose technically the portals are only $20, thus making them $4 a portal. What a bargain. Now, of course, the broader context here is rather hilarious. You can buy, say, the whole Diablo 4 Ultimate Edition for $60. You can buy the Standard Edition for $42. So the value proposition here is, well, certainly completely goddamn insane, and that is getting near some of the recent mid-priced victories we've had, like Palworld, Enshrouded, Helldivers. So what we're seeing here is an expansion of player customization, usually something that seems pretty damn good. The idea of more ways to play around with your character, even thinking about the original armor cores in Halo Infinite, but of course what that rapidly ends up being is just more ways to slice and dice things. So ultimately people are getting less value, but there clearly are enough people who are willing to just pony up the money. They are completely price insensitive customers. And think about a game like Diablo, think about what its store stuff has cost, right? You're regularly $20, $30, $40. Think about how many times more valuable one of those customers is to Blizzard than just, your average person who buys the regular edition of a game, like a pleb. And of course, if you think about where your money's coming from, those are the people who'll be catered to more and more and more. So you look at a game like Diablo 4, and certainly you've got that criticism where if you want something that really feels awesome, really looks like your class, a lot of the time you gotta pay. Because yes, on the Battle Pass, there are 2 armor sets and they are available for like every different character, right? But the thing is, it's just the same set. It's kind of like, reshaped to go onto all of those different characters, which does mean that thematically it's got to be generic cool. And you know what? I do think it is generically cool. But if you want the ultimate, druid skin for your character, well, that's not really something you're getting in-game. That's something you're getting in the store. Now, on the topic of some class-restricted things with these portals, well, yeah, they are also restricted. So unless you're actually playing a character of each class, class, well, there's going to be stuff that you cannot use. So that's happened. Has it killed the game? Has it completely set the world on fire and destroyed everything? No, it hasn't, but it's just a perfect example of the sort of thing that is going on. The constant nickel and diming, and I think the pretty big reduction in the amount of value that customers are actually getting. As another thing, we've got these headstones that are on the premium battle pass. I sure do have to wonder when they will be pulled out, sort of made class specific, and maybe thrown into some sort of bundle. But ultimately, this isn't news. I think it's news because it's something that's fairly interesting. It shows where things are going, but it's also not news because this is completely par for the course. It's exactly what we would expect. And the thing is, the more that this is done, the more it becomes normal. There are a lot of people who will, really just kind of fight back against people kind of calling out some of this stuff, saying, hey, it's cosmetic, you don't need to buy it. That's absolutely the case. But the thing is, the value prop for the person who's not getting these cosmetics is clearly, I think anyway, just getting slowly and slowly worse, as more effort goes into the thing that will actually, directly make the line go up. And I think that is a default loss, right, to the people who otherwise would be getting some more of those resources. It's not particularly great, but turns out there's a little bit of outdoing being done by the Hearthstone team. So, look, it's the 10th anniversary of Hearthstone. It actually looks like they're trying to do some really cool stuff. So there's a pile of new cards with some fun mechanics that are built around the legacy of the game. There are freebies returning. There's a whole bunch of stuff like that in World of Warcraft, but they've also revealed the next expansion to Hearthstone, and there's actually some pretty cool mechanics to it. Yes, that's nice, but there's one thing that is raising eyebrows. I'll just read it out for you. Whizbang has one more surprise for you. Every Whizbang's Workshop pre-purchase bundle comes with 2 copies of Corridor Sleeper, an early access epic from Whizbang's Workshop. So yes, now cards are available in early access. But of course they say don't sleep in this deal. Get your pre-purchase bundle and start playing with this new expansion card right away. Oh, yeah, that's just some lovely marketing copy, isn't it? But yes, this is a pre-order bonus that will have a direct mechanical impact on the game that you're playing right now. And this is something that's not particularly uncommon. This is something that, as an example, has been done in Marvel Snap, right? Where they'll maybe put one of their cards behind the battle pass, and then, at a later date, that card will be otherwise available. In Destiny, we've seen weapons being offered ahead of time if you pre-order an expansion. And then, obviously, we've got how, in general, card games handle promo cards for the next set and that sort of thing. But I think the thing here is precedent, because this is obviously gameplay impacting. If this ends up being a really strong card, if it ends up, say, sneaking into a meta, then, well, that would be feeling quite pay to win. And even if the frontline designer who's just making these cards isn't intending any of that, if it happens to be a strong card, someone could easily say, hang on a second, that's a strong card. You're incentivized. You're incentivized for that card to be strong because you can give it to people early via this pre-purchase bundle. So even if the actual designer implementing the card doesn't really know any of that stuff, it is still, well, a conflict of interest that exists. And just while we're here, I do want to check in a little bit with Hearthstone because, man, they sure do know how to, monetize that game. As an example here, for Whizbang's Workshop, the Mega Bundle is $69.99, that's, pounds sterling, UK, or $44.99 for the non-Mega Bundle. That, just in absolute terms, is quite a lot of money, and this is in Hearthstone, a game that obviously is actually pretty damn expensive to keep up with. But of course, though, it's not just that. To take a look at some of the other things, they've also got the mini sets, where, as an example, right, if you want to get the Dive into Deepholm Golden mini set, well, the mini set itself, they're going to sell for $13.49. But the golden version of those cards in a full bundle, they'll just straight up sell that for $62.99. I don't really know anyone who could love Hearthstone that much and be so price insensitive, but wow. And this is clearly what they're doing, right? If you want to get the Titans Golden mini set, well, you're looking at, again, $62.99 or $13.49. And it's just one of those things with games. I think about, I believe it was yesterday or the day before story when we were talking about Helldivers, and the CEO of that company basically said, look, monetization, this stuff, it's got to be earned, right? We've got to give you a good value, not make it feel forced, and then you'll be happy enough to buy things. And indeed, when people actually were playing Helldivers, the amount of the premium currency that you get via regular gameplay means there's people who have already been able to afford the, the premium battle pass, or just some of the, the cosmetics, right? It's a game that's like fairly generous. That, I think, has engendered some goodwill and made people happy to support it. I think so much of that is about customer perception, right? How the customer actually sort of feels. It's a bit like whenever you walk into a shop and the way that this all happen, right? The differences between a very bargain grocery store versus a very upmarket one, or a clothes boutique, or whatever it is. So it's that feeling where if you just walk in and your impression looks like this, which is the Hearthstone store page, that does not make you feel like you are getting a premium, respectful experience. As an example, if you take a brand like All Saints, right? Whenever they're doing their shops, they purposefully don't put all of their stock out on the shelves. Whereas if you go into, say, a TK Maxx, it's an absolute, battle royale. The point there is, in the sort of premium boutique, they very much curate what you see. They keep the density of things low, and yeah, they'll have like more stock in the back, but they'll be trying to give the customer that kind of premium experience. Of course, in a traditional business like that, where it's more of a hard sell, that does make a lot of sense. Of course, in a game, I think because of the interactivity, the sort of social elements, I think that's playing out at like a different psychological space, but there's definitely like lessons that we can learn. Number one, it's just overwhelming when you actually look at the Hearthstone store, let alone boot up the game and just get friggin' assaulted with consumption opportunities. But yeah, it's just that thought. If you've got goodwill towards the developer and they don't look like they're taking the piss, nickel and diming everything, then you're going to feel better. I mean, from the perception of a customer, they'll take a look at, say, the Murder at Castle Natria Golden mini set Mon Disorder for $62.99, and they'll think, oh, these are the sorts of people that would try to get that money out of me. And even if you were someone who is never going to buy that, you'll just be put off a little bit. And sure, maybe you'll buy the more cheap one, but I think the point is some long-term customer like goodwill, I think that just evaporates into the air the more you do this sort of thing. And as we've seen Hearthstone just get more and more desperate with its monetization, I think we're just seeing the natural results. I mean, they are reaping what they sowed, I think, in terms of apathy. So look, insofar as the pay-to-win card goes, it absolutely is a slippery slope argument, but if you are somebody who's been playing Hearthstone for a long time and you have seen the monetization ramp up and up and up, it'll take convincing for you to not think that that slope is rather slippery. The next thing we go into is honestly just a little bit of a bungle, but I do want to talk about Overwatch anyway. So here's the deal. Overwatch Season 9 is out. This is a pretty damn big season. This is one that has, a massive competitive rework, a massive change to basically like damage profiles, a little bit of like the roles of DPS and support. It's a pretty monumental change. I want to go in blind and properly play it out myself. But of course, with a new season, well, that means we get Blizzard responding to the dramas of previous seasons. And we can get into that. TLDR here is the battle pass is like more themed around like eldritch horrors, which to be honest is the sort of thing that I think is, yeah, pretty damn cool. And they're doing the usual thing. You can buy the regular battle pass for 1,000 coins, or there is the big ultimate bundle thing. In this case, it comes with 2,000 Overwatch coins, the battle pass, 20 tier skips, the Beholder Sigma and Harbinger Lifeweaver legendary skins, and then yes, those 2,000 Overwatch coins. 2,000 Overwatch coins, what's that worth? Well, it is worth £16.79. So it is one of those things where, if you have a lot of store cosmetics that are pretty damn expensive, and then you do a bundle, it's very easy to make it look like an amazing value. Do you know when you see those, like, Ty Lopez style, hey, I'm just here consuming knowledge with my Lambos, clicking this link, and then, if you actually go to the link, you'll see, some random ebook that'll be like $300 value, slashed, free. And that must have got gullible people in the past, but I think for the rest of us, we look at that and think, oh yeah, so the prices of everything are completely inflated, so that I a minnow will think it's a good idea to buy the bundles. It's like, yeah, you can kind of just see the strategy going on pretty damn clearly. Anyway, from what I understand, there's really nothing particularly new or scary here other than some Lovecraftian sort of inspired skins, which, yeah, okay, fair. That's something that I could probably enjoy maybe grinding out if I just happen to be playing Overwatch 2 and having a good time anyway, which, look, is what I actually desire. As we talk about these three games here, Overwatch, look, I don't know how these changes are. I did enjoy 5v5. I did, at times, yes, enjoy 6v6, at times get a little bit frustrated, but I never played at that high of a level. But fundamentally, I think Overwatch 2 is, at times, excellent and amazing, and certainly has that potential. I think Diablo 4 is a game that, look, has shown that its development team actually listens, tries to pivot and things pretty damn quick. We actually covered that story fairly recently, so I am here saying that, like, mostly you're looking at good games here. Hearthstone Battlegrounds, pretty damn fun. For me, I'm just sort of sad that the Hearthstone team is no longer as cooking in the single-player content. Ages ago, they did a roguelite that was like a Dalaran heist, and to be honest, I played that thing for hours and hours and hours. That was a microtransaction I was very happy to make. And now what are they doing? Giving me weird inflated golden mini set packs. So for the Overwatch thing anyway, what they've done is a new set of Jade weapon skins. These are going to be the 2024 like competitive things for you to be chasing with your competitive points as you're playing in comp. I think they look pretty damn cool, and these are the successor to the golden skins that we knew of before. Now in theory this is everything that we would like, and it's the opposite of a lot of the other sorts of cosmetics, right? Where if you've unlocked this, then hey, you've put in the time. You can wear that thing with pride, right? That's awesome. Now these can only be unlocked using the 2024 competitive points, which does kind of make sense. This is a wholly new, unlock model for these things that is based on the new competitive rank and reward system. Thing is though, they already had competitive points as a thing, which were used to buy the original golden skins. So that is now being framed as the legacy competitive system. So old points are converted, put into that pool, and going forward, whenever it's, like the sort of the end of the year, your existing comp points go into the sort of legacy pool. But that does actually mean, right, that, well, there's a problem here. If you were getting pretty close to getting the golden weapon that you wanted, well, yeah, grats. You've got some legacy competitive points, and you can't do anything with them because you don't have enough to buy that skin, and you can't earn any more until your current competitive points get transferred over into being legacy ones, which will be after the 2024 season. So the idea of just, being at the cusp of getting the thing you want, and suddenly you've got to wait for a year, not exactly great. Now, they have responded. They're apparently going to have something sorted out for Season 10. It is just a funny little thing of they kind of roll out the new thing, and like immediately there's a pretty clear design flaw. I certainly have to wonder, just what that means for the pace of development there. The main thing is in a way, my heart goes out to them. These devs are working on 9-week seasonal cycles on a big live game. That is extremely hard. Even just the number of parallel projects there, and then that their team as well was hit actually more hard than most people expected by the recent layoffs. It's pretty damn challenging. What I will say, though, is I'm going to give it a fair shot. I really am genuinely curious to see what this just kind of like new damage profile, sort of grand rebalancing of the game actually means. And I suppose if my hit scan radius is a little bit larger, maybe I will feel slightly less bad playing Baptiste. Who knows? I'll let you know when I find out, but ultimately there you go, a fun little trek through the recent wacky world of Blizzard cosmetics. I suppose I'll throw in a little bonus at the end, actually. They did a really good job in just immediately generating a fuckload of money by basically doing big goth girl like transmog outfit, basically like a voidy sort of Sailor Moon thing, and yeah, from what I understand, that was just an instant collect, like 30 quid or 25 quid, whatever, from just about everybody. I say that though because it actually taps into the sort of like meta side of things that I think has allowed for a lot of collaboration skins, like say Seraphim or Le Seraphim, whatever, for Overwatch. Of course, you're seeing loads of that with Fortnite and stuff. They were actually able to tap into just a little bit of that with WoW, and it seemed to be quite a success. So who knows, maybe they'll start doing that. But anyway, there you go. Monetization, Hearthstone, Come on, man. Is that just it? Everyone's playing Battlegrounds. They can't for the life of them monetize Battlegrounds, so they're just stuck trying to pump as much money out of standard Hearthstone play, because ultimately in Battlegrounds, all they can sell you is cosmetics. They can't sell you mechanics, and selling people mechanics is the entire point of these card games, be they printed on card or be they digital. Anyway, have a great day. That's it for me. Check out this video next. Be sure to subscribe. Of course, we're pretty much daily here now, which is pretty damn crazy. Thank you for all of your support. I'll see you next time.